Hey everyone, welcome to Pass or Play. Recapping Vampire Academy episode 5, currently streaming on Peacock. So, in this episode, we open with Rose and 4 other Guardian novices being selected for the final test in being selected as official guardians of, the army. These Rose and these other 4, they have shown the most the best abilities out of all the other Guardian novices. And this is the final test to either, get them to prove that they can be official Guardians and not just, trainees, even though they're still, 16, 17 years old. And so they're basically just letting them know that you will have this final test where you're protecting each other. You'll have this Bravo team of damn peers who will at some point, attack you. And, if you can, keep each other alive with these blood, these like blood neck bracelets that they have, as long as it doesn't get punctured, then they win. They will become official guardians. But if they, if the if these neck kind of fake blood braces get broken, then they lose. But anyway, so that's the first thing. And then we go to a scene where Alyssa, she keeps having visions of her dead brother Andre, telling her to remember the car accident, because she still doesn't remember what happened in that car accident. Then we go to Victor Dashkov. He lets his family know that he's been diagnosed with a terminal illness, and he doesn't know how long he has to live, but not that much time left. And his daughter Sonia, who has the spirit magic, she offers to heal him, but he says no because he knows the toll it would take on her life. And with the spirit magic, it seems like they can heal you, but with the illness, she may not necessarily be able to cure him. And if she does, maybe not without taking her own life. um, and then from this scene we go to the Moroi, Rural Council. They meet to discuss having the Guardian novices face a real Strigoi. In the last episode, they end up capturing a Strigoi vampire, and now they want to use this Strigoi vampire for the final test. And the council agrees to go ahead with it, despite Victor, opposing them doing that, saying, don't put their lives in danger by adding this Strigoi to this, final test. But one of the proxies, or one of the other appointed family members on the council, say if they can't, if these 5 training Guardian novices can't handle one Strigoi, then that will kind of prove the point, that they shouldn't be guarding, being, royal, or they just shouldn't be damn pure. They're just not ready to do it yet if 5 of them can't handle just one Strigoi. But if you're watching the show, it's not like it's easy to fight these Strigoi, you know. And then so from there we go to, they show they're trying to release this one Strigoi back out into like the field where they're having the Guardian novices, start the test. And the vampire that's trying to release a Strigoi ends up getting killed by it, and then that vampire gets turned into a Strigoi. So now you have 2 Strigoi on the training field of this final test. Um, and then now we go to Victor again, and he's trying to get the field test canceled by going to the damn pier captain, saying, they're putting they're putting the live Strigoi out in the final test. you need to stop this. You need to tell them to come back in, call back your Bravo team and have them bring in the Guardian novices, pull them back. And she's like, no, I would be committing treason. You would be committing treason. If that's what you want to do, you need to take it up with the Royal Council. I'm following the orders of the Royal Council. That is what, we are supposed to do. That's who you need to talk to, not me. And Dimitri, Victor also says it to Dimitri, and the captain's like, Dimitri will do what I tell him to do because I'm the captain, and Dimitri, is not, he is not a captain. And then Victor, so Victor is just, he ends up leaving, and then he goes to the Queen's there, and then the Queen says she will not stop this test either. She will not stop the final test. There's nothing that she can do. She says, then he needs to run for, he needs to run for monarchy, or he needs to run, to be a king then, if he wants to be able to make and stop these rules. She has to do, what's best for the capital and all the other provinces, because, they need more Dampier. They just need more guardians. And they don't have them. So, even though it's only 5, so I mean, I guess 5 newer, 5 new uh, Dampier Guardians are better than the ones that they don't have right now. So something is better than nothing. But anyway, they're the more they're desperate for Guardians because they lost so many at that massacre at St. Jude. But anyway, so we go to the next scene. Lissa finds out about the Sturgoy being on, in this final test. So she gets help from Christian. She gets help. She gets help from her friends, and she ends up getting a ride. But she has to leave the Capitol grounds to warn Rose and the other trainees, basically about the Sturgoy being released in the final test. Um, and now we go back to the training field. The the Guardian novices have kind of set up ground in this church where they're, getting ready to, fight the Bravo team, Dampier, to try to pass this final test. And they show that the Bravo team, all the official Guardians have been killed by the 2 Sturgoy, and the Sturgoy ends up turning McHale, which is Rose's friend, into a Sturgoy. So now you got 3 Sturgoy that are out there, wanting to kill the Guardian novices. And so at this point, we go back to, once they show that the Bravo team, the official trained Dampier Guardians are killed, they go back to where the trainees or the Guardian novices have set up their kind of camp, getting ready for the Bravo team to come. And it shows that one of the members, gets attacked. They get their kind of guts kind of scratched out. They're bleeding. Then Lissa and Christian and 2 other Moroi and another Dampier, who came with her, they end up coming to help. They let Rose know that, there's real Sturgoy out here. There's real Sturgoy that are coming, that are out here to kill you. Um, and Lissa ends up healing Dean, one of the trainees, with her, her spirit, her spirit magic. And Rose starts fighting McHale while Christian and the other trainees And Lisa and her friends, they get to the car that they came in to escape, and Dimitri shows up and helps Rose fight Mikhail, and she ends up killing Mikhail. He comes and jumps on top of her, and she has her dagger, and she stabs him in the heart, and she starts crying because she killed her friend. But at this point, he was turned into a Strigoi, so he was gone. And they don't, and there doesn't, and in the show, it doesn't seem like there's a way to reverse it. If you become a Strigoi, there's no way to necessarily reverse that change. They just kind of become you know, bloodthirsty kind of vampires, savage kind of vampires. So once he was turned into a Strigoi, I don't think there was any way to necessarily save him. If maybe they had subdued him, they maybe could have kept him locked up or something. But yeah. And so after that happens, the other Dampier come to the scene too to ask Rose and Dimitri, is everything settled? They say yes. Everyone's accounted for, who survived anyway. And then we go back to them being back on the capital, the capital province. And Lissa heals a wound on Rose's hands and tells her not to freak out. Showing Rose that now she knows how to heal wounds and heal people. Um, and then we go to Sonya finds out, she was dating kind of Mikhail at this point. She finds out that he's dead. And as Victor is telling her, she just takes his hand and she's like, I don't want to lose anybody else. And she starts healing. She tries to heal his terminal illness. Um, and his whole eyes and mouth starts turning like this gold light. And then the next thing it shows Victor walking in like, looking all healthy and whatnot. He goes into a family council meeting and say he puts in his bid to run for monarchy. And the queen is there too, and she's looking like, okay, so you want to run, right? And at this point too, I don't know if Sonya healed him or did she just like really. I mean, I don't know if she cured him or did she just like give him just a lot of like, I don't know, healing, like to really counteract his illness. She may not have really like cured him. She may have just healed him of the effects of the pain. So right now he's feeling really strong, and he wants to run. Basically put his bid in for candidacy. But and then the next scene again, we go to Lissa. She lets Christian know, that she wants to be together with him, but there are things that she has to do, for her family name, Dragomir. She has to get married so she can have the power to vote, the power to vote, for her family name. They get busy, you know, they get busy basically. And then while they're kind of sleeping, she heals a cut on Christian's hand, and she's looking in the mirror, like on the side of the bed, and her eyes go black, like Sonya's eyes has gone black in previous episodes when she heals. And they said that you can tap into a darkness with the spirit magic, because you start healing things. Sonya can bring dead birds back to life and things like that. So they says there's a darkness to it. But in this scene, it shows that her eyes go black, and then because because Lissa and Rose have that connection from the accident, that they haven't figured out where that's coming from kind of yet, and what happened actually on the accident. When Lissa eyes are going black, she like rolls her eyes kind of, and it gets channeled to Rose while she's training out in the yard. And her eyes go black, and as she's training by herself outside, she ends up blowing up the Guardian Novice ranking board. She ends up throwing like a knife at the board and ends up like exploding or whatever, blowing up. And then the last scene of this episode is Sonia. She tries to kill herself. She tries jumping off of this high ledge of this building, and a lot of the birds that she's healed and whatnot, that she talks to, they end up like cradling her before she actually hits the ground, and they end up flying her back up and putting her, back on the ledge, saying, stopping her from dying basically. And then it shows her eyes are black and she kills all the birds, and then that's how it ends. So I mean, for me, this was a good episode. I mean, again, it's pushing the story forward. It didn't lag. This episode probably had the most action because with the Dampier, I mean, with the Dampier fighting, but also the Strigoi, the stuff with the magic. I mean, it was a pretty good action packed episode. To me, it wasn't boring. A lot of things are going on with the different characters, and it's moving the story forward. So. If you're watching the episode, leave any comments below. If you like the review or the, review recap, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already.